It's my pleasure to be here today on another session of AI for the Better. My guest for today is Shiva Jayagopal. He's the co-founder of WinVinaya Foundation, an NGO which focuses on providing education and the relevant skills in niche technologies for things like data visualization, software development, and RPA, which allows persons with disability from weaker economic backgrounds to be able to pick up such skills which helps them to have an independent livelihood. Shiva, a very warm welcome to you and thank you for being here. And if you could just share a little bit more background about yourself and about WinVinaya to get started.
I've been in this IT sector for almost 30 plus years. Now we run a private company called WinVinaya Infosystems and the foundation, which is WinVinaya Foundation. In the last 8 years, we have trained about close to 1,500 people. 85% of them are persons across 18 different disabilities. Tools like Power BI, even for a person with visual impairment. So the question is, can you even teach visual tools for visually impaired, right? But it is possible because those tools are accessible. But unless we try it, we will never know. So, that is what we firmly believe within WinVinaya, that it's important for you to keep challenging the norms, the status quo.
How is AI being used in helping train people as well as, are they actually working on things with artificial intelligence?
So let us say the trainers have to create some training plan. Our trainers go to various AI tools. It could be the ChatGPT, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, many times a combination of them. And they go and ask, I want to do this kind of training for persons with visual impairment. I want to do it for persons with intellectual disabilities. I want to do it for persons who are deaf. They ask it to customize the learning content with examples which are relevant to that particular disability. It's mind-boggling as to what AI can do in simplifying the concepts so that people can learn. The Indian Sign Language has a different grammar than English grammar. Let us say you put a text out there, which is in English, and say, can you convert the same thing in English, but in ISL grammar? So that a deaf can easily understand. Trust me, within seconds it does it. It need not be only text, right? It can be through audio. It can be in our Indian languages. The other day, I went with the person with visual impairment, one of our colleagues. A couple of years back, I went with the same guy to a restaurant to order, and I will read out the menu. Then he will pick up. This time I said, okay, now, Sai, okay, let me read out the menu. He said, Shiva sir, wait. Then he took the Microsoft Seeing AI. He showed it. It's reading that menu. Okay, then he's coming back and saying, Shiva sir, what do you want? The AI, if you look at it, it's giving tremendous amount of power to them. On the smart boards, whatever you are talking, it is able to convert that into text, which means a deaf person can understand. Think about a traditional classroom. The teacher will say, look at what I'm writing on the board. How will a person with visual impairment look? Now, the same thing, the teacher is writing something on the board and it is reading out automatically, right? So the person who can read, by seeing, they can easily read. Okay. The person who needs audio to listen, the teacher is doing the same thing, except that they're now writing on the smart board. So if you look at the AI, as long as we have some of these assistive tech phalanges, suddenly you can have an inclusive class. You can have persons with and without disabilities in the same class. With the closed caption, a deaf person can understand. With the audio, a person with visual impairment can understand. And, by the traditional writing thing, a person without disability can understand. So when we talk about dignity, we think about livelihood. That is not the only thing. That is an important thing, but that's not the only thing for them to live a life with the dignity, right? When they are not dependent on somebody else, when they're able to take decisions on their own, and when they want to do what they believe is the right thing for them to do, giving them that power to do things, that itself is beautiful. World Health Organization, there are about 15 to 16% of the world population are persons with disabilities. In India, there are some estimates which says there are about 70 million people who are persons with disabilities, right? Among persons with disabilities, there is also another statistic which says only 6% are graduates, just 6%. I would say the lack of knowledge is the biggest impediment. Where do you start? I would say start wherever you are. Don't worry about it, right? Because, persons with disabilities are human, just treat them as such. Take that first step, connect with any NGO of your choice which works with the persons with the disabilities. And in my view, I think it will just transform all our lives.